today from the site of the Monte Muambe Rare Earths project is Cedric Simonet. Cedric, good to have you on. How are you?
Very good, thank you, Mark. How are you?
Yes, very good, very good. So just start us off, if you can, by sort of talking about how things are going on the ground. What are you doing there? What's it like on the ground, and what's going on?
Okay, so life on a drilling campaign at Monte Muambe is very exciting. We are busy drilling the last holes of this year's drilling campaign, which aim is to produce a mineral resource estimate for gallium and fluorspar.
Yeah.
We are getting into December now, so in Mozambique it's starting to rain. It's been drizzling a little bit today, but we will be able to finish, and my team on the ground is making sure of that.
Good. Well, I suppose we should probably say the Monte Muambe Rare Earths, Fluorspar and Gallium project now, shouldn't we really? Because it's not just about rare earths. Of course, the Fluorspar is the early winner.
Yes, that is correct. Fluorspar and gallium especially. It's carbonatites like the ones that we've got at Monte Muambe have got many different type of resources. So we have the rare earth angle, we have the fluorspar angle, and the gallium angle. Gallium is more connected to fluorspar.
Okay. So you announced in October some new targets from some soil sampling you were doing. So have you been able to drill these targets as well?
That's right. So when we started drilling, at the same time, we were still reviewing soil data, and we had sent a batch of samples to South Africa for fluorine assays. The assays came back, and as we announced, we found that there were more targets, and we said that we would try to drill them, and we have. We also said that we were getting particularly interesting gallium results at Python, so Python target, we've given the target names. So we've drilled extra holes at Python to follow up on the gallium. We have also drilled extra holes south of the fluoride zone and at the Kudu target. The Kudu target is quite interesting because it's about 700 meters long in terms of strike length. So there is a lot of potential to increase the volume for the resource estimate. So that was one of the reasons why we drilled it. We've not drilled all the targets. We won't have the time this year, but we've already drilled more than we thought we would. And we will leave some for next year, maybe to increase the resource estimate after we've published the first estimate.
Okay. And what sort of things are going on the ground? I mean, when you do a drilling campaign, what activities does that really entail? And are you up against the clock a little bit here?
Yeah, that's right. It's a complex activity. If you've not been on a drilling campaign, you can't really realize it. People think that it's just poking holes in the ground and everything magically comes out. It's quite complex. First, it's a difficult geological environment to drill. For example, there are cavities in the ground sometimes, so that poses difficulties to the drillers. But the first thing that one has to do is the planning of the drilling. And that's something which is very flexible because every hole you drill is going to affect the decision on where and how you're going to drill the next. If one hole is positive, you might have to add another hole. And one message that I want to pass through to investors and people who watch this video is that quality control is extremely important. This is samples, data which are going to go into a resource estimate. So a lot of our activity are quality control activities.
Okay.
Not just the samples and the drilling and the chain of custodies for the assays, but also the topography. We need to know exactly where each hole is located to have its coordinates. And the RTK system that we use for that gives this position with an accuracy of just a few millimeters. We had the visit of the competent person who is going to do the mineral resource estimate. When you do a mineral resource estimate, the competent person has to visit the site. That's mandatory. And this visit has taken place, and the competent person was very happy about what he saw. Obviously, we've been working here for several years now, so we have the experience.
Excellent, good. So are we still good for a fluorspar and gallium resource estimate in Q1?
Definitely. The last batch of samples will have left the site within the next, today is the 5th, yeah, probably by the 15th latest.
Okay.
So definitely beginning of next year. And as our chairman said at the AGM, we will provide a detailed and comprehensive operational update later this month before the end.
Before the end of the year. Excellent. Good. So you're on site for a week or so, I guess. What happens when you get that resource estimate? I mean, that's obviously the first real signal and bite, if you like, of what we have in the ground. But what could that unlock? Further discussions with interested parties, or does it just feed into further drilling and going down the study route?
So the resource estimate is one of the components of the scoping study. The other key component is the metallurgy, and the metallurgy will advance in parallel to the resource estimate. But the resource estimate tells you basically what is the size of the deposit and what is the grade. The grade has an influence on the profitability of the deposit. So that influences the financials ultimately of the study. And the size has an influence on the production capacity and or the life of mine, which is quite important to us. We are targeting 50,000 tons per year. If the deposit is much bigger, we can decide to increase the mine of life, or the life of mine, or we can decide to increase the production capacity.
Okay, good. Well, I look forward to digesting that operational update before Christmas and then discussing that resource estimate early next year. But for now, Cedric Simonet, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.